Hi guys, how are you? Um, I haven't been on here for quite a while actually. I've been just kind of posting. Well, I've been doing a lot of research, so I've just been posting some of the research that I've put out that I've been finding out about things. I thought that'd be quite useful, and I haven't been on here because I haven't really had any really great insights or anything that I thought I could share with you, other than just kind of posting what I had read. So, but now that's changed. I had a really good counseling session with my coach today. She's always very helpful. And after that, I slept a long time. I've been sick too. I've been sick, or I don't know if it's been allergies or a cold, or kind of what it is, or a combination of it. But it's been like a couple weeks now, maybe even 3 weeks. Could be even a month because it's been a while. So yeah, that's also kind of put me into a lower space. So that actually brings me to, that's a great segue to what I want to talk about today, which is what we resist persists. I've talked about this before, and intellectually it's a very simple concept to grasp. What we push away from, what we resist, what we fight, we add energy to in our minds, and actually sticks around longer than it really needs to. And then the converse, if we have something that we really, really want, we like, we try to hold on to it, it pushes away, and it's actually the totally opposite because we're still resisting. So, and I know this intellectually, and probably a number of you have probably read about this, but it's so difficult to grasp, and we forget about it, and we forget about applying it in our life. So I've been resisting my cold or allergies or whatever it has been for a while. I'm really fighting it because I don't like taking medicine for it. I don't want to take antibiotics. And I've just been really fighting it. So I don't know. I feel better today. Actually, I took some antibiotics, and it could actually possibly just be just the placebo effect, which is an effect where it's documented scientifically that when you think something's going to work, it does. So I've been conditioned, we've all been conditioned by Western medicine, pretty much from when we were kids, that when we feel sick, our parents take us to the doctor. They give us medication. So when we get that medication, even sometimes before we get the medication, even just the trip going to the doctor, we feel better. So maybe that could be the case. So I've been reading up to 30% of the efficacious effects of medicines can be attributed to the placebo effect. So basically it's our mind, our thoughts, enhancing the effect of the medication, or in some cases there is no medication, and healing us. So our minds are amazing in what they can do. That just shows you. But that's that's one thing I want to talk about. That's kind of got off the topic, but excuse me, I just want to talk about that. When we resist, what we resist persists. And I wanted to bring up an example, a specific example of with the highs and lows, because highs and lows really only exist in our minds. Actually, everything only really exists in our minds. But it's okay to have highs and joys in life. And it's great to have joys and highs in life, and things are going well. The problem is, like I said before, is when we get attached to them. That's the problem. When we get attached to them, then we have expectations, and when they don't happen, then we tend to go into these lows because we expected the high to happen and it didn't. So when we get attached to something, that's when we cause a lot of our problems. And the same thing with the lows, like I said. When we're in a low, instead of just accepting it and, okay, I'm not feeling that great kind of thing, or life isn't going that great right now, we resist it. We don't want to be in that low. We want to be in that high. And us resisting that low is actually giving more energy to that low, to those feelings, to those thoughts, and it keeps it there. Keeps us there longer. So it's kind of interesting. So let's see. So what we did today is I had a particular example that I went through with my coach, and it was because I got into this discussion with her today too. And that's how I'm bringing it to you, because it's fresh in my mind, and I really learned a lot from it. So an exercise that I've seen a number of times, there's a common thread. Every time I kind of come up with some issue or some negative thought or some problem, I'm always led back to the fact that everything in life is balanced. The universe is balanced. The energy is balanced. Our physical beings are balanced. This has been, known for thousands of years. Yin Yang. If you think of Yin Yang with the Chinese, I know the Japanese Okinawans have a terminology too that they also think of balance. In fact, all karate is balanced in a way. I can't remember the Japanese term, but it's the same idea, and it's in our cultures for thousands of years. I think we've just forgotten about it. So everything is balanced. So even our emotions and our feelings are balanced. So if we have, say, for instance, I'll use this as an example, low, like I'll call it a low, like doubt. Like I tend to doubt a lot of things. I doubt what I can do. I doubt what I'm doing with my business. Sometimes I doubt a lot of different things. And then I get stuck in it because I resist it, because I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in doubt. I want to kind of have this knowing feeling and just be confident all the time. And the problem is, like I said, is what we resist persists. So a really helpful paradigm shift here is if we take doubt, and with doubt, there are negatives of doubt, which we're all aware of because we classify it as doubt. But there's also positives to it too. So if you take a negative, there's always a positive to it. We tend to get stuck, I tend to get stuck in one polarity. When we're talking about something negative, it's really negative. But there's positives to it as well. Same thing with the highs, with really great, fantastic things in our lives. There are always negatives, but we focus on the positive. So we miss that polarity. We miss that kind of this thing. We miss that high and low kind of balance there. So I'm just going to go through with doubt, for instance. So with doubt, if you think of some of the positives of being doubtful, kind of makes you humble. You're not a know-it-all, right? If you were a know-it-all, that would be good. There's a protection piece there. If you kind of doubt, you're kind of cautious. Physically, it can keep you out of situations. It can have you have a heightened awareness of maybe a situation that you could get in trouble physically. Emotionally, it kind of protects you sometimes as well. You can tend to be more introspective because you don't, again, think you know everything. So you're always curious and always researching things and trying to feel who you are and what you want to do and how you want to serve in life, kind of thing. Also allows you to be like kind of an eternal student for the same reasons. You're always questioning things. And you become wise as well because you're questioning things that others are doing and you're seeing things that others are doing and you're learning from others versus going through what my sensei calls the hard school of knocks, where you learn from others sometimes the difficult way. So if you can be wise and learn from others, that's also a good thing. So those are some of the positives of doubt. Now, if we look at the opposite of doubt, what's the opposite of doubt? I can't think of a word. I could have looked it up, but knowing it all. Hubris? No, not hubris. Knowing it all. So if you know it all, what are there's let's see, we kind of know the well, not knowing it all, but let's not say knowing it all. Let's frame it as the opposite of doubt would be confidence, right? Because confidence feels good. We're confident. So we know the positives of confidence. So what are some of the negatives? I just kind of alluded to it. One of them is like you could be perceived as a know-it-all. You could be a know-it-all. You could be overconfident. Could be boring. People don't want to talk to you because you just know everything and you just don't listen to people. You don't take any new information in. People who are like that tend to be fake or perceived to be fake because, again, they know it all. They just kind of have that persona about them. And people who are fake, we don't trust. So you could be perceived as untrustworthy as well if you are overconfident, if you will, which would be the negative part of being too confident. You have no appreciation for anything because if everything's always going your well, or if you're always very, very confident, then you don't realize what it's not like to be confident. So it just becomes a normalized state. So there are no highs and lows. You are not open to new ideas, again, because you're closed down to you know it all. So who the hell is going to teach you anything? And even if they do, you're not going to take it in anyway. It's sort of a my way or the highway type attitude. So this is just an example of doubt, which we associate as a negative feeling or emotion, has some positives to it, and confidence, which we associate with as being a positive attribute or positive feeling, positive emotion, has negative attributes to it as well. So what this does is it allows us to kind of say, okay, well, for every emotion, we have a positive and a negative, and really they kind of come together. And it's just the positives and the negatives are our thoughts about them, and we choose to be either positive or negative kind of thing. So I have an exercise, which I'm not going to go through with you, but I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to try, which I've done a few times now. I did once on a video for you guys. I did it with, basically I think I was listing, there were a whole bunch of attributes that people could kind of assimilate with or associate with, and I was saying take one of those and find the polar opposite. So this is an exercise of finding the polar opposite of whatever emotion that you're dealing with. And like I said, you can do it with doubt. You can do it with anything. You can do it with any thought as well. And it helps. You don't have to do it this way, but it helps to go back like 5 different times from one polarity to the other polarity. So like the negative polarity to the positive polarity. So we have 10 fingers. So it's very useful. I think that's why we did it. That's why they do it 5 times. It'd be kind of difficult to do it 6 times. You have to add like some toes and things like that to it. So for each polarity, what we do is we kind of put down a finger. It's not so much. It's just basically to keep track. So on the left side, you're going to put that. You're going to think of a negative. You're going to think of an emotion, and you're really going to think of it really, really strongly and try to live into it and try to feel it as much as you can, the worst possible way that you can feel it. And then you're going to kind of breathe, take a breath, and then you're going to switch to the other side. And the other side is going to be the positive of that side, of that emotion. And we're just going to use the other finger just to keep track. And then you go back and forth. So on the positive side, you try it again. Feel as much as you can into that emotion, into that positive emotion. Really live that emotion, feel it, think of it, imagine it. And then once you kind of get to the maximum you can, then you switch back to the other side. And then you put down another finger, again, just to keep track. And you bounce back and forth with this. And it's very interesting. What happens for me is I come to an equilibrium where I realize that the high and the low, it's weird. There's really no difference. It's just made up in my mind. There is no high and low. It just is, which is pretty amazing. So try this exercise. And I'll pop on with another video, I think, to just try to demonstrate it a little better than here. I'll actually take an example that I have to maybe demonstrate it and walk you through a process, which would be kind of cool. So I'll do that. So yeah, the main things I just wanted to get to was what we resist persists, and that for every negative emotion or feeling or idea, there's always a positive side to it. And the same thing with every positive, there's always some negatives to it. So really, if we come to equilibrium, they're all the same and there's no difference. Everything is made up in the mind. So I hope this was helpful, and you guys have a great night. Please leave comments, let me know what you think. Also, if you want me to cover any types of particular topics, I'd love to cover a lot of some particular topics on videos, or provide some more links to different information. It's great. I think it's really, really good that I hope this is helpful to people anyway. All right, so you guys have a wonderful night. And actually, I'll probably see this tomorrow morning because I'm going to bed and I'll post it in the morning. Take care. Bye-bye.